The opinions expressed in the following program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers nor Rogers TV.
Habari, salam alaikum, sak passe, and welcome to another edition of Fontonfrom. I'm your host, Sarah Onyango, and today we'll be highlighting the 14th annual Martin Luther King Jr. Day commemoration in Ottawa. So on Monday, January 15th, 2018, Dreamkeepers presented Ottawa's 14th annual citywide celebration of Martin Luther King Day, directed by the Reverend Dr. Anthony Bailey. The event included an Aboriginal welcome, spiritual messages from Christian, Jewish, and Muslim faith leaders, a keynote address by the Spectrum founder Ewart Walters, and performances by Michael Curtis Hanna. Also, leadership awards were presented to Black History Ottawa board member Joanne Robinson and Jacques Combit co-founder Ken Campbell, as well as the inaugural Jean Augustine Life Achievement Award. And this went to Nova Scotian U.S. Congressional Gold Medal recipient, the late Lloyd Arthur States Sr. Here are some highlights.
Lift every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Once again, I think I have on previous occasions mentioned that I have a very great affinity for Martin Luther King in a way that none of you can have. And that is that I met my second wife. I lost my first wife for cancer. I met my wife presently on Martin Luther King Day. And not only that, but her initials before we married were MLK. So now she's MLB, so she's gone from Martin Luther King to Major League Baseball. But more than that, there's strong affinity with Martin Luther King because a lot of the things that he said so many years ago, you sometimes wonder, yes, we have made progress, but how much progress have we made? If Martin Luther King were here today, looking back at all these years, to say, did we get the message? Did it resonate? Did it translate the way it should have? So instead of me talking to you, let me just share with you some thoughts that come from Martin Luther King. I know that the theme for today is that freedom isn't free. And we also need to realize that freedom, whatever it is that we define it as, is not arbitrariness. It's more a freedom towards living responsibly. And as Martin Luther King said very eloquently, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? And he further said that an individual has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of the individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. And you know, you ask yourself, that's a really big chunk. How can we make a big difference in this world? The world is so complicated, the world is so large, we're just small individuals. So Martin Luther King actually answered that question too. He once said that if I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way.
Today, as we all know, we're celebrating Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. and his inspiring fight for civil rights. We know of his dream for freedom and equality, a dream of democracy achieved and civil rights guaranteed. King inspired us more than 50 years ago, and he continues to inspire us today. Le discours de Martin Luther King a été une source d'inspiration il y a 50 ans, et il est encore aujourd'hui. King's, of course, I Have a Dream speech, perhaps his most famous, which was delivered more than 50 years ago, inspired a movement to reach for equality of all people, no matter of their race, culture, background, or socioeconomic status. And this powerful message still resonates with us today. His message was one of peace. King said, and I quote, "I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless midnight of racism and war that the bright daybreak of peace and brotherhood can never become a reality. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word." As one of the great orators of American history, King's words have transcended moments in time to strike a chord in the hearts and minds of people throughout the world. Through his words, and more importantly through his actions, King persuaded others to continue the fight against injustice and to strive for equality for all people, even after he was gone. Par ses mots et ses actes, King a su persuader les autres de continuer de se battre contre l'injustice et de lutter pour l'égalité de tous, même après sa mort. Today, we remember Martin Luther King Jr. and his incredible contributions to the betterment of the world. We know, and we see it literally every night on the news, we still have work to do. Tragically, there are still examples throughout the world where civil rights have been abused. But we must continue to strive for equality, strive for a world in which people are not judged by the color of their skin, as he aptly put it, or their religion or their cultural background, but for who they are as a person. I'd like to also welcome John Fraser, Member of Provincial Parliament, who's joined us here as well. And I'd like to invite members of the committee come forward that I would present the official proclamation proclaiming today, January 15th, 2018, as Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the City of Ottawa. Par conséquent, je Jim Watson, maire de la ville d'Ottawa, proclame par la présente le 15 janvier 2018, journée Martin Luther King Jr. à Ottawa. So if we can have members, are you going to accept it on behalf?
I would like to say a few words of my own. I'm very fortunate to be the member of Provincial Parliament for Ottawa South. I represent a community where families from 125 countries speaking 90 languages live. Dozens of faiths. So think about that. Where does that happen elsewhere in the world? Not too many places. We live together, we work together, we go to school together, our children play together. It's pretty good, pretty darn good. But it needs work. It needs work every day. So life's, as the quote goes, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? So when I talk about work, I don't mean the work of the federal government or the provincial government or ministries and developing policies. It's the daily work. It's the work of things that are small kindnesses, acknowledgement, looking at the other and recognizing that they're there, it's important, and ensuring that people know that we're all in this together.
And I was thinking what to say, because I think we're living in very different times. And I worry about this a lot in our community. We see incidents that are completely unacceptable. We have people who are scared. And we have things that are being said publicly, online, that are just not who we are as Canadians. And every day, we have to fight this. Alors c'est sûr, c'est un temps différent. On a beaucoup de travail de faire comme une communauté. On a des grands chefs de communauté ici, mais c'est sûr que chaque jour, on va venir ensemble. And when you think of Martin Luther King, it was very small, very local community initiatives. And that's really what builds a community. You can't do it top down. You can try, but it's not gonna work. Everyone needs to be part of it, and everyone needs to feel part of it, whether you're a leader or you're just a little kid. And I think the quote, there's many quotes that you could use, but, and I don't know if John Fraser, sadly, I did have a Winterlude event, so to my good friend John Fraser, I don't know if you used this quote or if anyone did, but I think it's an appropriate quote. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. And we are in times of challenge and controversy. And we all know diversity is our strength. We all know that we need to stand together, but that also requires a practical obligation. And I want to thank those who came together. We had an interfaith meeting. We're still working on what we can be doing together, but it led to a food drive. I know that Daniel Stringer was very involved, and he's been taking a leadership role in the community. And it's really about coming together on a human level. That it's not just when something happens and we all rally together and we make speeches and we talk about it. It's just small little things where people recognize that we're all in this together. Doesn't matter what you look like.
Amongst fellow collaborators, and it's an honor today to be introducing a friend, a partner, a father, husband, and also, most notably, the 2018. Ken is one of several founders and the current president of Jaku Kombit, a nonprofit educational community-based and family-oriented organization. Since its launch in 2000 and with Ken at its helm, Jaku Kombit has strived diligently to improve outcomes for Ottawa's socio-economically disadvantaged people, particularly Canadian children, youth, and seniors of African and Caribbean descent. Anchored in three important values, which are family, community, and culture, Jaku Kombit provides information, programs, and services that seek to address the physical, social, emotional, intellectual, and developmental needs of children, youth, and seniors. This is done through personal development training that aims to foster leadership skills, self-esteem, civic duty, entrepreneurism, and a positive attitude for success. Out of so many good initiatives, their highlights include the Black Star Tutoring Program to help students do well in school, the Greatness is Within Me Summer Camp to help develop enduring skills for social and academic success, the Youth Leadership and Job Connect programs, which puts young people in touch with opportunities, and of course, the annual Community Kwanzaa celebration, which is Ottawa's largest African heritage cultural event during the holiday season. Jaku Kombit continues to evolve with the recently launched Green Job Program, which seeks to engage youth in opportunities centered on the environment. For these efforts over the years, Ken Campbell and Jaku Kombit have received various awards and recognition, including the Marcus Garvey Award from Planet Africa TV, the Man of the Village Award from the Nkira Dinkinesh Education Center, the Black History Ottawa Community Builder Award for Community Leadership, and of course, the United Way Community Builders Award, which I think is on the wall behind me. So today, for continued efforts to provide Ottawa's children and youth and the greater community with the knowledge and tools to cultivate stronger self-awareness and ultimately success within the context of Canada's culture and history. Friends, please join me in welcoming community steward, collaborator, father, husband, and all-around good guy, our 2018 Martin Luther King Dreamkeepers Citee for Outstanding Leadership, Kenneth Campbell.
Good afternoon. I've been given the honor by Dreamkeepers to present the award again for the Dreamkeepers Citation of Outstanding Leadership to Kenneth Campbell for your vision and passion to help young people be successful and happy. As a Kwanzaa pioneer and a proud promoter of Black culture through the amazing diversity programs you have led and developing your beloved Jaku Kumbit, a grateful Ottawa salutes you. Given at Ottawa City Hall, January 15th, 2018, Dreamkeepers promoting the vision of Dr. Martin Luther King.
Some of the people that I work with, my colleague, are, I would say, some of the hardest worker. But I realized that we need programs that also have a cultural basis that could support our children, our youth, and our family. And so I was thinking along this line, and then on the way, I met some very dynamic people in the community who were thinking along the same line. So I have to pay some respect for some of these individuals who kind of helped to shape my way of thinking and encourage me to get into community volunteerism. People like Jean Saint-Ville, Harry Mehiru, Raymond Peterkin, Francis Hastek, to show me. These were some young people about 20 years ago that were thinking about what we can do to make a difference. And even though we didn't know exactly what to expect, but as a result of our thinking and our meeting and our discussion, we were able to come up with an organization called Jaku Kumbit, an African-centered, family-focused, community-based organization that was geared towards children and youth of African descent, but open to everyone in the community. And as the saying goes, the rest is history. Over the years, we have worked with, I would say, maybe worked and touched the lives of over 1,000 families. And that would translate to maybe about 4,000 people, because when you work with one individual, you in some way also have an impact on the sibling or on the parents. And through our many initiatives and programs that Fred just mentioned, we have been able to assist and to help a lot of young people find their first work experience, their first job. And many have graduated and moved to other cities and moved into the fields of their careers. But I'm very proud that through working with various organizations and having community partners, that we've been able to make a difference in the lives of a lot of young people, a lot of adults, and even seniors in Ottawa.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm absolutely thrilled to introduce the 2018 recipient of the Dreamkeepers Citation for Outstanding Leadership, Joanne Robinson. Born in Ottawa to parents of Jamaican heritage, she has been at the forefront of our community organizations that really make Ottawa a great place to live. Between 2013 and 2014, she was president of the Jamaican Ottawa Community Association, and under her direction, the association reached new heights. Impactful programs like Under the Mango Tree, which brought together our elders, our seniors, and young people in a multi-generational dialogue. It takes a village to empower and support community. And Joanne's work has exemplified this. For decades, she has worked collaboratively with a wide range of associations. Whether it was organizing a seniors walking program with Wild About Walking group at Saint Laurent Shopping Center, highlighting the stories of pioneer Black Caribbean women who came to Ottawa from the islands in the 1950s, or even as a member of the Community Police Action Program Committee. She is a volunteer with the City of Ottawa, and of course, her stellar contributions to Black History Ottawa. Joanne is indeed an outstanding community leader. She's a 2006 recipient of the United Way Community Builders Award, a 2007 Services Award recipient at the National Heroes Banquet, a 2015 Leading Women Communities Award recipient, and in 2017 received the Ontario Volunteer Services Award. Our 2018 Martin Luther King Jr. Dreamkeepers Award citee for outstanding leadership, Joanne Robinson. Accepting the award on her behalf is the President of Black History Ottawa, June Gervin.
Thank you. And with that recognition is a commitment in the name of Dr. Martin Luther King that we will honor, we will do something concrete, very tangible, measurable, to honor the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and their calls to action. We as Black people share much with Indigenous people. It began with Christopher Columbus on the 5th of May, 1494. We're all in this together. Thank you. Faith and spiritual leaders, political and policy guides, civic, provincial, federal. On behalf of Joanne, who's very grateful for this award, I'm very pleased to accept it. Joanne regrets that she's not here to accept the special award. She wants to affirm his mentorship. She asked me to say the following. I sincerely wish that I could have been here today to receive the Dreamkeepers citation for outstanding leadership in our community. Receiving this award is truly overwhelming and amazing at the same time. Rather than speaking to the theme of the day, freedom isn't free, progress through self-sacrifice, I will speak to two of Martin Luther King's quotes. I feel these quotes reflect my views in serving our community. The first quote is, "If I cannot do great things, I can do small things in a great way." Over the years, I have become increasingly active in the community. My activity helps me see where I can fit in, to either help community members move forward towards a common goal, or simply to provide them with leads to resources and information that are increasingly needed on a daily basis. I play my part with many community organizations in the hopes that, step by step, organization by organization, we may all reach the same goals within the greater community of Ottawa. In my professional life, I'm Vice President and Chief Steward of my union. This role provides me with much experience in dealing with injustices, people endure in the workplace. I do my research and advocate vigorously. I do my work with determination so that justice is done. This is a different kind of service. However, it still ties into the many struggles faced by our young to middle-aged fellow citizens who are looking for the same chance to progress, the same chance as the next person.
He was a king with not just vision, but king with a dream, And when I think about myself right now, thinking about my children and the dream of Dr. King, it just fits well. Dr. King, said that he wants his children to live in a nation that basically would not judge the kids or human beings, by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Today, think about characters.
Is Denise in the audience? Denise Cieli? No? I'm wearing my glasses this year, Denise. The Jean Augustine Dreamkeeper Life Achievement Award presented to pioneer and patriot Lloyd Arthur State Sr., pioneer of racial integration in the Armed Forces of North America, recipient of the Congressional Gold Medal for service in the Elite Commando 1st Special Service Force, the Black Devils, for its pivotal role in the victory of World War II. A proud nation salutes you, Ottawa, January 15, 2018.
On behalf of my siblings, Philip, Sarah, Crystal, Charles, Howard, and our niece, Faith, the daughter of our deceased brother, Lloyd Jr., I thank all of you for recognizing our dad for the role he played in securing freedom for so many during World War II. However, if he were here today, he probably would try to refuse it because he saw himself as just a soldier doing what had to be done.
I hope you enjoyed this tribute to the late civil rights icon, the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Do send us your comments and suggestions, and tune in again next time for more coverage of other exciting events in and by the African and Caribbean community right here on Rogers TV. Kwaheri, and bye for now.
Still